It's hard work out here in the backyard farm. Whew, whew, whew. I say it's trimp time. Yep. Trimp time. Forgot the phones. This is my dance move. Thanks for calling Backyard Farming Supply. This is Lydia. Okay, yeah, you can definitely subscribe to our channel. It's completely free. Only half the % people watching are subscribed to our videos.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna hand you off to my assistant. Comment down below exactly what she said.
All right, brother, are you excited for today?
Yes, I am.
This is Caleb Scott. I actually went to high school with him, and he has a local construction company in the area, and he is helping us with some backyard farm installs. Today, we're gonna do a little bit of a walkthrough and show you how we go from 0 to hero with a backyard farm install. We're gonna actually run into the seed room real quick. Have you seen this thing yet?
Oh, it's amazing.
Doing a backyard farming system, you truly get to grow unique, diverse vegetables that nobody else has. So here is our seed start station. This is the first area. This thing is fully automated and be out of town for 17 days on the other side of the world in Dubai and Monaco. Come back to absolutely thriving, healthy, explosive growth from your plants. Well, here in a backyard farming system, you can do like I did, 6 pepper plants of one variety, which gives you a tray of 10 to 12 plus varieties on just one 50 or 72 count tray. Well, once we're done growing our seeds in the seed rack, then we bring them over to the veg rack. This is where plants become mature, bigger, and able to be brought out into the garden at a lot bigger plant size with a lot bigger root system that then goes out into the next step of the backyard farming system. Let's check out some of these details that we are going to be doing for our garden install of John and Hitomi. So this particular area right here is Tomato Alley. A tomato plant, it gets really tall, but not very wide. So Tomato Alley with a vertical trellising system. You'll see more about that later. Horseshoe bed. It's a 12-foot wide bed that's 8 feet wide with a little keyhole cutout. The reason that we've got the keyhole cutout is because you wouldn't be able to reach the stuff in the middle if we just made it a giant 8-foot wide bed.
Makes sense.
We give it a little cutout. It's a cool area to hang out.
So I see you got a watering system. How's this hooked up and how does it water?
Great question. So we give each bed its own valve, so that way we can control the flow and make sure that we're not overwatering or underwatering per specific plant type. And I believe that a fully saturated soil is a key to a fully developed root system. If I was to hand water this whole garden, it would take me probably 6 to 8 hours.
It'd take a while.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
With this system, it takes about 8 minutes.
Wow. Do you need to install a whole new watering system or could you use your sprinkler system?
It's a great question. Yes, you can just use your pre-existing irrigation system and be able to zone it out or time it so that you are watering the exact amount of water possible.
You can control the timer on the zone, which times you want to water it.
Yep.
Just like a sprinkler system.
Just like a sprinkler system. Let's say that this bed needs less water. Well, you just turn down the valve so that it's at the appropriate amount of volume, while another one on the same zone is turned all the way up and just delivers a lot of water.
Okay. So what do you got this for? What's the use of this?
This is where we put our trellis. So first off, this is the canopy control. Second off, it's a great spot for shade cloth. Third off, it's a great spot for an A-frame support system that allows us to put a tarp cover over it in case of hail. Because I used to do it all with this 1-inch PVC. It's almost the same price. So 1-inch PVC versus half-inch conduit.
This will last a lot longer.
But it's also better looking. It's more rigid, and you can also use the amazing maker pipe fittings that allow us to literally construct any shape that we want, whether we want a tunnel or we want an A-frame, or we want a 90 degree, good to go. So while we're right here, I wanted to show you one of our other features. This is the big bumper bed. And the best thing about the big bumper bed is what I like to call comfort height gardening. So comfort height gardening is gardening like this versus like this.
Less backbreaking.
It's less backbreaking. This does a couple other things. It keeps the dogs out. It keeps the squirrels out, mice and rodents and voles as well.
Okay, so what keeps the moles and the mice from coming up underneath into the garden beds?
First off, we put weed barrier, but then we poke holes in the weed barrier so we don't have stagnant water. Okay. Second off, we take really small chicken wire and we coat the bottoms of these beds so that nothing can burrow up, which a lot of times people end up losing large amount of plants because something's chewing on the root system.
Yeah. So I see you have the irrigation here. Where does it come from?
That's such a good question. Well, first off, it's trenched all the way over to my irrigation station. Check that out here in 1 second. But this is what I like to call ghost irrigation. It comes up inside the bed. The reason that I did that instead of outside of the bed is because then it's less that can get broken, ran into with a weed whacker or a shovel or a rake as you're moving some of your
kids
pebbles
playing
in.
around here.
Yeah, or your kids playing around. So ghost irrigation comes up from the bottom directly into the drip irrigation manifold and then down through the bed with the drip lines. So this is the irrigation station.
You see you got a bunch of different containers. Can you explain what all these do?
Ooh, for the best explanation of that, go back and check out the other video that we did earlier on in the season on the exact fertilizers and the tea brewers here, but I'll give you the skinny.
Yes.
Well, first off, this is actually tied to a normal sprinkler zone from the tap water of my house. So this feeds my entire system. And this is what we're gonna be doing with John and Tommy's system today. We're gonna take their standard irrigation tap that is from a zone of their irrigation at their house, and we are going to be splitting off and coming up and going into what's called a dosa cart. That dosa cart is then going to add fertilizer to the irrigation water, and boom, right back down into the standard irrigation system. And we'll show you as we continue to do the rest of John and Hitomi's install, the way that everybody can install fertigation system into their standard irrigation system without needing additional electricity, without needing additional pumps. We want to make it easy for people to set up a backyard farming system.
But for the average homeowner, how can you do it to make it easy for them?
We spent a lot of time thinking about that. So it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Number 1, you find where your stock irrigation system is. Number 2, add a dosa cart, which injects the fertilizer into your standard irrigation system for you. And number 3, you plumb from your dosa cart right back down into your regular irrigation system.
So it mixes it all and then feeds it right to your plants with little effort.
Yep, little effort, super cheap, really easy to do. And the beauty is it only takes up about this much space.
And that's key for an average homeowner. They don't want to take up all this space.
You gotta make sure that the kids can have a blast, right?
So what's this? I see you got trees here.
I've got 12 types of apple on just this 9-foot triangle. It's all through the magic of grafting. Have you heard of it?
I have.
We've got 4 grafts on one tree. 4, 8, 12 types of apple all on one triangle, because we intentionally put it here so that the kids, as they're jumping on the trampoline, if they want to break in the shade, they can come sit down and get in the shade
And pick an apple.
and pick an apple.
So what is this? What's this bed used for?
This is actually used for the 3 sisters. The 3 sisters are corn, peas or beans, and squash. And the corn grows vertically. The peas and beans use the corn stalk to wrap up as a version of canopy support, and then the squash shades it all out on the bottom, so that way you don't have any weeds.
That's very ingenious. So what do we got here?
This is Climber Tunnel. Climber Tunnel can literally host any type of plant that climbs, but what I'm really excited about this year is I'm gonna be doing mainly cucumbers, peas, and beans. I have found certain types of beans that actually have more protein, calcium, magnesium, and iron than even steak.
Oh, wow.
So bringing in some of these beans is really important to be able to get true nutrient density and diversity in your diet, but it's also really cool because once again, they will climb on the cucumbers just like they do the corn.
You're gonna grow 40 different types of cucumbers in this one area.
And over 80 types of beans. Check out our socials and comment with tagging 2 friends in the description below this video, and we're gonna send one lucky winner a hat and a shirt.
Thanks for the Dooley family.